Hi, welcome back to the workshop. Today we're going to continue with the workshop rebuild. We've got all the base units completed now, so in today's video I'm going to concentrate on the worktops. And we're going to be making those with 2x4 timber laid flat on its side, and I'm going to be using a half-lap joint. So in today's video I'm going to show you how to create half-lap using two different methods. One, I'm going to be using my Mitre saw, and the second method I'm going to be using a large sled on the table saw. Very similar process for each, but I'm going to demonstrate two methods. You probably know it's nice and cold outside. We've had a little bit of snow today. You probably see it's cold in my shop today as well, and blowing my breath. So let's get to it and let's get warmed up. I've got my 4x2 timbers here for the worktops. I'm not going to bother to run these through the planer and square up the sides. You'll see once the worktops are finished, all of this timber is going to be hidden. It's just purely structural. This is a pressure treated softwood. It's more than adequate for these particular worktops. So now I'm just going to cut them to length. To find the centre of this piece of timber, I'll roughly set my marking gauge to what I think is halfway, and I'll put a mark. I'll put the marking gauge on the other side of the piece of timber and I'll put another mark. And now we can see where these two marks are. All I have to do is adjust the position of my gauge until it's right in the middle of those two marks, and then I know that's in the centre of the board. I've got the half lap marked out on the end of this piece of 2x4 now. I've just drawn some heavy pencil lines just so you can see it on the video. I used another piece of timber flush against the end and ruled a pencil line down the face of it to give me this mark here. I then transferred the lines with my square on either side. So now I've got a centre line on the edge, centre line down the end, and the thickness of the board that's going to overlap, and all this material that's hatched we're now going to plough out with a mitre saw. On this particular mitre saw there's a depth stop here. You wind this screw in and out, and as you plunge the mitre saw down it comes to a stop here. You can obviously measure the depth of the cut against a piece of wood, make sure the bottom of the teeth are right on the halfway mark, and then lock this nut off here, and then that will limit the travel. And then it's simply a case of then just ploughing grooves through the piece of 2x4, moving the wood across inch by inch until the whole of that half lap is cut out. And then come back in here with a chisel and clean this up. There we go, I've just come in here with a chisel now and just cleaned that up. You can see that's perfectly down to my line. That's a nice little half lap. So now we'll try one on a table saw. Okay, so we've seen how to cut half laps on the mitre saw using a depth gauge. I've got the sled out now on the top of the table saw. The long pieces that make up the worktop, I'm going to cut the half laps on the table saw. I'll show you how to do that now. I've set the depth of the saw using one of my other half lap pieces. I've raised and lowered the saw until it just scrapes the other boards. I know that's at the right height. I've transferred the marks from my half lap onto the side, and then I can just reference that mark to the edge of the cut in the table saw, and then I can just move it just gradually and plough out that half lap. we go. Halflap with the paper saw. A little bit of clean up with the chisel, same as we did with the Mitre saw. All the Halflaps cut now for the worktops. I've just got to put them all together. And I think I'll call that a day for today. It's taken me quite a while to plough out all those Halflaps. So we'll do that in the next video.